more, just another recording. Around the same time as the last, to finish my little Dashie. It is 8:39. Alright. If you told me 4 years ago I'd be taking care of a cartoon rainbow-colored pony, I'd call you insane. I probably am in all reality, but I don't care. I'm happy, she's happy. Today is a day for celebration. For today, my little Dashie got her cutie mark. I honestly don't know how to tackle that fact. She didn't even know what it was until I explained it to her. Now she's even more ecstatic than before. It was a normal park outing, but this time she decided she wanted to see how high she could get. I had limited her to how high she could fly, but honestly, I can't do anything about what she does up there. I can't fly, so most I could do is tell her to be careful. Somewhere she got it in her head to see just how fast she could fly, probably due to her being a NASCAR and, well, a general racing fan. For some time she was trying to make up tricks and stunts of her own, giving them names. I just stood on a bench I fixed to cheer her on. No one was ever around anymore. In fact, on that block, I think the last person left over a year ago. There are rumors that the entire area is going to be She's still the same rainbow. Possible to accomplish such a feat in my explosion brought upon many broken windows and set off car alarms in the next country. I quickly rounded her up, and we rushed home before anyone could arrive at the park. I was lucky none of my windows were broken. The rest of the day was spent celebrating. It was just so happened that today was her 4th birthday. I have no way of knowing how old she actually was when I got her, so I just started over. I would have brought a cake, but due to the boom, all the businesses were closed and needed new windows. So we made a cake of our own. Apparently the fanfiction writers got it right. She can't bake at all. Granted, I'm not the best myself, but it was still a mess. But we had fun. She enjoyed herself and she's happy. Therefore, I am happy. Though, that was their highlight of the day. Mine was just moments ago. She's now accustomed to sleeping in her own room versus with me out on the couch. I actually stopped sleeping in my room and kept her company in the living room up until recently. Now I can sleep on my own bed once more, but I keep my door unlocked, so if she needs me, she can get me. I had just tucked her into her bed and told her goodnight when she said it. Good night, Daddy. I love you. It hasn't been on the internet. I haven't been on the internet in, 3 years now? I don't know how the My Little Pony thing online is doing, or what memes are still alive or not, but damn it all, I'm going to say it because it's true. My heart exploded twice. For the first time, not only did she call me Daddy, which she had done on occasion, but she even said, I love you. For a moment, I didn't even know what to say, or what to do. I have never been in this sort of situation before, but I remembered what my mother and father used to do. So I leaned down and kissed her on her forehead, and told her the same thing. Good night, my little Dashie. I love you too. She smiled at me, then closed her eyes to sleep. I walked out, turned off her light, making sure her SpongeBob nightlight was on, of course. Closed her door. Making sure her SpongeBob nightlight was on, of course, closed her door. Then sat down upon the couch. I haven't moved for an hour now. I'm so lost in thought. A few times she'd call me Daddy. I didn't think of anything of it. I could picture why she called me that. Being with her so much made me accept it as part of taking care of her. But tonight when she said those 3 words, the realization finally sunk into my head. I am her daddy. She considers me her daddy. And quite frankly, I consider her my daughter. Even though we were from a totally different species, I still love her with all my heart. And it has taken her to speak those words to me for me to finally realize that. I think I have finally done it. I've broken my hard shell that I had formed when my parents died. I've let a sweet little filly into my life. I gave her a home to live in, food to eat, and now a daddy to love. She's given me hope, love, compassion, and now something I thought I'd never utter, a daughter. I still speculate when the time is going to arise that she goes back to Equestria, and each day gets harder for me to imagine when that actually happens. I just hope that she never forgets me, because I will never forget her. I believe Dashie is now at her full size. Rounding at about 3 feet tall, she is fully grown. Though she's only still 10 years old, according to my math, I believe she's actually more along the lines of 14 or 15, possibly in actual years. So I celebrated 5 missed birthdays and officially moving day. That's right, moving day. We moved from my parents' house, thanks to me finally saving up enough money, plus getting lucky at a casino. We bought a nice house 100 miles away from the city. It's got a lot of open land. There isn't another house within 5 miles, and it's just me and her. Now she can fly all she wants, whenever she wants. She's truly happy, although she does miss the old park. It's gone now, along with everything else that lives in the area. A large business bought all the land, flattened it, and built a large factory there. There's an amazing boom to the economy, and the people are starting to build homes again. I'm glad, but it just wasn't for us. That amount of people would hinder her from going outside, and I'm not going to force her to stay inside all day unless it's raining out. I've got a new job, one that pays much more than my old one. Dashie even talked about getting a job, but then she's remembered what I told her. The look on her face was heartbreaking. We were enjoying a cake we made, which I must add we have improved upon that skill, when she brought it up. I jokingly said that she can't do to her being a pony, and I laughed. And she remained silent. My God, I'm horrible. I just laughed because my daughter is different. I apologized for hours, and even though she says she understands, I know she's still hurt. Luckily, I have a way to fix this. Due to the sheer size of the property, it involves a lot of cutting down grass. Tomorrow, I will modify a lawnmower for her to use so that she can have a job. I'll even pay her so that she can buy her own stuff if she wants. Though I'd have to get it for her. Still, she can say that she worked for something. According to the show, she was a weather pony, and I don't have her mess with Mother Nature unless it's a dire emergency, so there really isn't any job to be had there. Still, I can't believe I've had her for 10 years now. My God, time goes so fast. I wish it would slow down so I could have more time with her. I don't know when, but I have the sudden feeling our time together is running out. All of this has been too good to be true. Today have been the worst time of my life, even more than when my parents died. Due to the events I could not prepare for, Dashie found out the truth before I could tell her myself. She knows what she is, a made-up cartoon character from a kid's television show. She's mad, no, upset beyond all thought. She had locked herself in her room, but I know my daughter. She didn't stay there long. She opened her window and flew off, probably into a tree to sulk her sorrow. I'm a monster. I should have told her sooner. I just wasn't sure when would be the right time. Now we are both suffering from my carelessness. I thought getting cable would be a good thing, give her some more shows to watch. But what I didn't realize was that we got the hub station. I wasn't even aware it was it was still up. And find my surprise, the show My Little Pony is still even airing. It had stopped at 8 seasons. Okay. It had stopped at 8 seasons, but it was still repeated. I remembered I walked in from work with some groceries, set them in the kitchen, and walked into the living room when that's when I saw it. Yay, she did it! Fluttershy screamed with joy as Applejack, Twilight, and Pinkie Pie all sat on the clouds with dumbfounded looks on their faces. My heart sank. I knew this episode. I remembered this episode. Even after seeing nothing for 12 years, I still remember that damn episode. In that episode, Rainbow Dash performs the Sonic Rainbow much like how my Dashie had years ago. At the time, I was still holding my keys, and I dropped them. They clanged on the wood floor. If she didn't know I was home before, she knew now. How long? Dashie asked me, no emotion in her voice. How long have you known about this? Dashie looked at me. She had been crying, and her mane was even worse shaped than normal. How long have you known about this? I couldn't help. A tear ran down my cheek as she yelled at me. It was for the first time in these years she had raised her voice to me, and I deserved every bit of it. So I sat down, turned off the television, and had told her everything. I told her about the show, about finding her, and answered any other questions she had for me. There were a lot. Most of them stemmed from the show, to which I simply told her what I truly believed, that though she is Rainbow Dash from the show, that she herself is a different pony from the cartoon. I tried to explain it to her, but her bullheadedness took over as she continued to lash at me. I took it all. I deserved it all. I've been keeping that horrible secret from her far too long. She's now a fully grown mare, capable of taking care of herself if she were in Equestria. Here, I treat her like she was still my little filly. It's been wrong of me, but I couldn't help it. I didn't want this to ever happen. But I knew it would. I should have done what was right, but I didn't. It was only a matter of time before she found out, and she knew she was different. After our argument, she flew upstairs into her bedroom and slammed the door shut. I checked on her an hour later, and no response told me she had flown off. I can only hope that she's come back, or at least, if she doesn't, she stays away from other people. If anything, I hope some sort of portal opens up and she goes back to her world and never has to think of me again. All I can say to her at this point is that I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It's been 3 days since Dashie left. That night of her departure, I did something I hadn't done in a long time. I went for a walk. I wasn't sure where I was going, or how long I walked, but that's what I did. I walked. Now, 3 days later, I'm finding myself out here again walking once again. I've been out for roughly 3 hours, and though it's only 5 in the afternoon, it has grown dark. A storm is brewing, and soon I will be getting hit by the brunt of it. I turn around to begin my walk home, though I don't rush. My energy these past few days has been non-existent, as I have barely eaten anything more than some toast. I feel so lost as I walk through the woods that surround my home. No, our home. It is as hers as it is mine, and nothing will change that. Whatever. The rain has begun, but I do not quicken my pace. I just walk, much like I've done so long ago. The distant memories of all my pain and sorrow before Dashie began to seep back into my mind. I haven't had these thoughts in years. The pads of water on the tree leaves help keep me distracted. It's a peaceful sound, one you would never hear in the city. The rain is picking up and my shirt is now soaking wet. I'm sure I'll be sick tomorrow morning, but I don't care. I've been sick for 3 days now. A mental illness has been tearing me apart. My daughter is somewhere out here, hurting, needing some comfort and warmth in this rain. I wish I could be there for her. Even though she may not want me, she may not ever want to see me again for how she acted. I don't blame her. It must be such a horrible thing finding out your past like that. I can't even imagine what it would be like now. I know Dashie's a strong mare and she can pull through, but I also know how she holds a grudge at times. I'm not sure about that. Even if she did come back, she would ever forgive me. Or more importantly, if I could even forgive myself. It's not pouring out here. The tree canopies are barely holding back the torrential rain as I'm hammered by the water droplets. I stop to look around and find my bearings to return home. I'm not lost. Most of this area is easy to traverse once you get used to it. It's just I'm also looking for Dashie as I walk. It's the reason why I'm walking in the forest in the first place. I press on, keeping a steady pace through this rain. Suddenly, I spy a large, thick tree. Its stature sticks out amongst the rest, and from looking at the barely wet grass underneath, I can tell its many branches are holding back even this hard rain. I need to take a break, so I walk under the tree and sit down. The grass is barely wet, with only a few small droplets making their ways down. This is the kind of tree I'd imagine Dashie would hide her under this rain. I wish it to be true, but I saw no sign of her as I approached. I close my eyes and lean against the tree hulk as I think of my life, our life, together as much as father or daughter, together as a father and daughter. We have grown so much as a family, and have been fortunate enough to have very few fights. None of them were as heartbreaking as the one 3 days ago. I feel a tear running down my cheek as I imagine Dashie's face again. The anger in her eyes mixed with the confusion just tears me apart. I want so badly to make things right, or to go back in time and stop it from happening, but I can't do either of those. What's done is done. I'm so sorry. I speak out loud, not caring for no one who is listening. Or not caring for no one is listening. I'm alone in these woods, besides all the wildlife. In this rain they are hiding as well. And the ones that aren't far from being such as I. I'm just so sorry, Dashie. I continue to cry as I keep my eyes closed and leaning against the tree. The rain continues to pour around me. An occasional drop hits my head, but I don't care. Crack! I open my eyes from the sudden sound and look to my left. I'm shocked at what I see before me, looking at me with teary eyes herself. Dashie, my little Dashie, covered in burrs and tree sap along her mane and tail, is standing a couple feet from me. She's wet, with both rain and tears. I hadn't heard her approach. Then again, being a Pegasus, she was very quiet and light on her hooves. She doesn't speak, and instead walks over to me, not caring what noises she makes under her hooves. I don't move. I just sit on the ground and watch my own eye. I watch with my own wet eyes. She's so horrible, and yet so beautiful at the same time. Her coat would have needed a good cleaning, but that was the least of my worries. Without a word, she sits next to me, not making eye contact as she looked into the woods. I can only look at her, wishing to hug her tightly and never let her go again. But I hold back, knowing that it would be too sudden. Finally, she's the first to speak. I heard you. Her voice got quiet as she whispers, "And I'm sorry too." I simply smile through my tears. Her stubborn attitude was still showing that she had always had difficulties apologizing. Dashie, you have nothing to be sorry about. It's my fault, simple as that. It seems my point doesn't get across, as she finally looks to me with a sorrowed face. Dad, do you still love me? Now it's the time to act. I reach over and grab her, holding her in a tight hug. Of course, Dashie. I've always loved you. I still love you, no matter what. Not even a small fight such as ours could even change that. She returns the hug as we sit there and cry together. We continue to apologize, me for the truth and her for raising her voice and storming out. After some time, the rain subsides while we remain under the tree. Dad? Can we go home now? I need a shower. Bad. I let out a chuckle, and she too laughs as I stand. We make our trip back home. She's smiling again. I am too. I've been giving it some time. I've given it some thought, and I think I shall give her her birthday present a little early. A ticket to the Indy 500. Yes, I'm taking her to the Indy 500. She can simply sit on some clouds and watch while I'm in the stands. I didn't even need to get her a ticket, but she needs some sort of reminder of her visit. I'm sure she will have a blast, though I don't expect to make this everything right. I don't expect this to make everything right. I can only hope it cheers her up some. With some time, I'm sure she will relax and settle down by her being in the cartoon. She's a smart mare, and I know she is real, not that made-up pony from the show. I can only help to push her to believing that, and I hope she does the same to me. I think I'll end that here. Jesus, it's a long story. I'm like a third in or something like that. But yes, I'm done for now. It is 9:01, so from 8:39 to 9:01, I think that's a good time to stop for now. And next recording, I shall continue more of my little Dashie. The stories got really heartfelt, and like I kind of started tearing up myself as I was reading. Oh my god. Well, later.